Regarding poverty, chapter 5 and 8, which I will do more videos, one thought comes always to my head, speaking about poverty. It's not a joke, it's not a kind of irony, but always comes to my mind what kind of poverty we are talking about, what kind of illiteracy. This country got some issues with public education, everybody knows that. In math and sciences, we are like 47 place on the planet. I think that only Mexico is the last position in the international competitions. Woody Allen said that this is a literal country. Noam Chomsky, who I'm admire very much and enjoy reading his writings, and not so much his speeches because he's a boring speaker. But he said repeatedly, America is anti-intellectual country. I mean, what we educate as kids in the schools, it's not the material from, I would say, college very often. And even though in Massachusetts, which is considered one of the most intellectual challenging and most developed states on the level of the IQ and on the level of possibilities to study, we got big issues also in here because students they come to the college and they cannot simply study, they cannot read, they are not used to open the book, they are used to go to the library, and nobody told them, neither high school level, to use the resources and to truly be a student, and which is obviously not good. We have to develop some programs to introduce them to life of a student, to teach them, sometimes very often because the ages of my students go between 25 and 50 years of age very often, and they come sometimes late, to recognize that it's difficult to study, so the age is over. But also the attitude of somebody who should be able to sacrifice the time, find enthusiasm, passion to study, to learn. I don't see it happening so much and around every student I have, and I have 7 courses with 25 students, so about 150 people, 160 people, which I'm observing in my classrooms, and they are not used to be in there. That they are sometimes tired to be there. I can understand evening courses, they come after jobs and 2 part-time jobs, maybe home waiting for kids and husband and dues as a family, mother of the family, etc. But still, I see attitude kind of student who is there because she must be there to get a piece of paper, to get a job, maybe more money in the future, etc. But not always somebody who will be, interested to study just for the love of studying or for the love of the knowledge and for the love for learning. And so the poverty person is not only poverty because somebody has no money, because sometimes students they have money and they still don't study very well, or they cannot still read properly and spell and do mathematics. But I see the poverty in the sense of the culture we raise them up, the stuff we feed them, the stuff we educate them. It's not a good stuff. The country goes in a certain direction, which obviously one must consider pretty much very shallow and superficial. Watching from the shows on the TV, from the Kardashians to the sports, organized sports, the whole weekends. If we feed our students with the stuff like this from morning to night, there's no way that I find that's the way to the library. They find us a way to study, open the book, find the resources, spend time in front of the internet to look for the decent stuff. They will never learn to do that because nobody will teach them. Parents, they don't teach them. Teachers at the high school level don't show them this kind of necessary enthusiasm to study and pursue the career in the future as a student. So my question is very simply, poverty in what sense? Poverty is not only because I have no money, access to the education, to the internet. As some students really they don't have the money to do that, we know that. But poverty also in the sense that there's a poverty, intellectual poverty, very much spread in this country, which is not the end of the story. The tragedy, I think, is that we somehow worship and glorify those people and those examples on TV who are very proud of being ignorant, literate, or not so much enthusiastic with the studies because they can always say, I do more money than you do, so what's the point to study? Which is also a big question. This country is based on the money, on the big profit, obviously success is always measured by the money, etc. So if the kids, students, they see from the beginning, from the start, on the high school level, this attitude. My question is, what kind of poverty we are trying to eliminate? Is the poverty in the sense of the material resources, money, havings, or is it poverty in the spiritual sense that we don't have people anymore to be enthusiasts in old-fashioned values of studies, go to the library, do the research, write a paper, read more, etc. Those are two different poverties in my opinion, and somehow I didn't see it happening. That somebody would pay the attention. I'd say maybe some leftist media who do regularly jokes about our being American, which means not the sharpest pencils on the planet, as some European would say. So I would distinguish poverty in a material sense, which means not to have enough sources to go to study or get a school, but poverty also spiritual sense, which all country is unfortunately sick a little bit because our culture.